Hello team, welcome back. And from this section, we will start learning about the basics of Python. So very first, we will learn about the syntax and semantics of the Python. We'll see that what are the basic syntax of the Python, what kind of syntactical error you can do in the code base, or what are the semantics of the Python, and why it is useful to understand the basic syntax and semantics. So for this lecture, I have already created a Jupyter notebook. Let me share the structure. So team, within the Python introduction section, I created the lecture 1.1, Python syntax and semantics. This is the Jupyter notebook and these are the things which we will learn as a part of this lecture. Very first, we learn about the single line comment. So let's learn about the single line comment. How we can mention the single line comment in the Python. So let's suppose you are putting up some kind of Python code. Let's suppose you are putting some print statement, print, hello team, welcome to Python code. Correct. If I want to execute, I can execute this. This is the basic Python code. But what I want to mention some kind of comment over here. What does it mean? What is the meaning of this print statement? So I can mention a comment in the Python. So let's suppose what is your comment about this line? Your comment is basic Python print statement. But if you will execute this code, you will get the error. By default, Python is not accepting this particular line as a comment. So we need to define some kind of symbol before the starting of this line. So we need to define some kind of symbol before the starting of this line so that Python will consider this line as a comment. And the symbol is hash. You can put a single hash or double hash before the line to make that line as a comment. Now if you will execute it, Python is taking this particular line as a comment. Correct. This is the single line comment. That how you can do the single line comment in the Python. Similarly, similarly, we can also mention the multi-line comment. How we can do the multi-line comment? Let me comment out this. Let me update this markup. And how we can mention the multi-line comment. Let's suppose you are putting up some code 2 multiplied by 2. There is the another print statement you are doing, print 10 divided by 5. And you are doing some another code like print 4 minus 2. If you will execute this code, you will get the 4. 2 multiplied by 2 is a 4. 10 divided by 5 is a 2.0 and 4 minus 2 is a 2. This is the output of your code. But what you want as a part of this code base, you want that you will put, but but you want that as a part of this code base, I will put a comment over here and that is a very long comment. So you want to divide that comment in the multiple lines, right? Let's suppose you want to put a comment here. I am performing some basic operations of mathematics. This is the multi-line comment because you are putting up your comment in the multiple lines. If you will put the double hash or single hash over here, this is the comment. So this is the way that how you can convert this comment, right? But I don't want this way. I want to put the multiple lines, maybe more than 10 lines over here. So I'm not going to put a single hash before each line. So how I can perform the multi-line comment? To perform the multi-line comment, you need to put 3 colon, 1, 2, 3, like this. And over here you can hit enter and this is the multi-line comment. Now whatever the string you want to put, you can put your string over here. Whatever the content you will put within these 3 quotes, right? This is a single quote 3 times. Python will consider that this is a comment. Let's suppose you will put some more information. This is multi-line comment. So team, everything, whatever you will mention within these 3 single codes will be a multi-line comment for the Python. If you will execute it, you see you are not getting the error. Python is considering this particular thing as a multi-line comment. Correct. So we learn about the single line comment and we learn about the multi-line comment. Third is basic syntax of the Python. So let me convert this basic syntax of the Python. So very first, let's understand what is the syntax. So this is the definition of the syntax team. Syntax refers to a set of rules that define the structure and format of a valid statement in the programming language. It means whatever the structure you are creating, whatever the program structure or the code structure you are creating, whatever the formatting you are using, is that format a valid format or not? Is that statement a valid statement or not? That particular thing define the syntax of your program. In the another simple words, the syntax dictate how you write code correct combination of symbols, keywords, and operation. So let's suppose you will write down some code over here. You are writing up the print, right? But you are using this print hello world. If you will execute it, you will face the error. Why? Because this is not the correct syntax as per the Python. After the print statement, if you want to print something, Python is accepting a bracket like this. Is this the correct syntax? Execute it? No, this is still not the correct. Why? Because Python is accepting the string in the double quotes or single quote within the bracket. Now this is the correct syntax. So what is the syntax? Syntax is the definition of the structure and format of the valid statement in the programming language. If you are not providing the valid format, if you are using the incorrect structure, if you are using the incorrect keywords, then that is going to be the syntactical error in your program, right? Or the syntax error in your program. Now, whenever we are talking about the syntax, there are the multiple things. The thing is like case sensitivity. The very first is the case sensitive. Python is a case sensitive language. If you will put some kind of variable over here like title, Facebook, and I will define the another variable like title. Now within this title and the earlier title, there is no difference. It's just I am using the capital T, Microsoft. Correct? I'm using the another variable like TITL but capital E. And I'm taking it Google. If I will execute something like print title, what do you think? What it will print? Will it print the Facebook? Will it print the Microsoft? Or will it print the Google? The spelling is same. The spelling is same. It's just all characters are in small. The first character is in capital. The last character is in capital. But the spelling is same. The meaning is same. Now what this will print? Because the value of each variable is different. First variable have the value Facebook. Second variable have the value Microsoft. And third variable have the value Google. What is going to be the output of this program? Will it print my Facebook, Microsoft or Google, or you will get the error? Let's execute it and you will get the output Facebook. Why? Because right now Python is only referring this particular variable. Similarly, if you will copy this print statement, put it 3 times and choose capital T, small capital E, execute it, it will print all three values, Facebook, Microsoft and Google. Correct? It will print all three values. What does it mean? It means Python is a case sensitive language. Python is a case sensitive language. Although the meaning of all three variable is same, but they are different. Python is treating them a different. Why? Because Python follow the case sensitive format. Right? Python is a case sensitive language. So whenever you are writing up any Python code, you are taking up the variables or you are writing any Python syntax, please keep in mind that Python is a case sensitive language and you need to structure your code accordingly, otherwise you will get the false failures in your code base. The another syntax is indentation, right? The another is indentation. What is the indentation? Let me put up some definition of the indentation. So this is the basic definition of the indentation. Indentation in the Python is refers the space or tabs used at the beginning of the line. Whenever you are writing up the Python code, whenever you are writing up any Python code or the line of a Python code, how many space you are providing or how many tabs you are providing before the beginning of that line, that define the indentation, that define the hierarchy or the grouping of the Python code base. And Python execute the code base or Python uh, identify the grouping or the structure of the code base on the basis of the indentation. Unlike the many other languages like the Python, C++, Groovy, they use the curly brackets or the square brackets. Let's suppose you are working in a Java, how you will create your code base. You create a code base like public my name and you define the structure like this. So this is a one code block. Whatever the thing you will mention over here, that will be available within a this particular method. This is the basics of the Java. But In the Python, you don't follow any kind of brackets. What you follow? You follow the number of space or you follow the tabs. Let's suppose we are creating some program over here like age equals to. Now if I will put a if condition over here, if age greater than 2, put a colon, hit enter, and you see the cursor is not going in the starting of this line. No, these are the 4 space. So by default, Python indentation take the 4 space. I will put print age, hit enter again, and hit enter again. And over here, let's again put the print age. So what I'm doing over here, you see there are the 4 line of code. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 line don't have any space before the or in the beginning of the line, but this line have the 4 space or 1 tab in the beginning of the line. Correct. If I will execute this program, what you will get? You will get the 2 print statement, one from this and another one from this. Why? Because this condition is true. Age is greater than 2. Yes, the age is greater than 2. Let's suppose I mention over 20 and execute it again. I'm just getting the one print statement. Why this print statement is not printing? Why this print statement is not printing? Because this condition is failing. But how Python is calculating that this print statement is the part of this particular if block? How Python is calculating all of this? Python is calculating all of this because there is a 4 space, the indentation. If you will remove this indentation, there is an error, hit enter, right? You see there is an error. It is saying that Python block is started, but it is not being ended, right? There's nothing which is ending this Python block. That's why you are getting the error. As soon as you will put a tab, by default, it will take the 4 space and the error is gone, right? So in the Python, the grouping of the code base, right, or the hierarchy of the code base is basically maintained by the indentation, right? And if you will put another if statement over here, if age less than 80, put a colon, hit enter. Now you see you are getting the 8 space, right? Why? First tab is coming from the parent if statement. Now this if statement is a child of this. Once you will hit enter, you see you are getting a another indentation. So this is the structure of the code you are maintaining. You are not putting up any kind of brackets or something like that. It is very simple that whenever you want to make any line of code is a child of the parent line, you just need to put a tab like this. That's it. Right? You just need to put a tab like this. That's it. And this is the code structure. So how Python is creating the code structure? Python is creating the code structure on the basis of the indentation. And indentation is basically maintained by a tab or the 4 space, right? There is a 4 space key. 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct? Or you can mention a single tab. By default, Python maintain the code hierarchy itself. But if you are writing up your code base in a plain notebook file or the Sublime text, then you need to maintain your indentation by default. And make sure if there is any kind of error in the indentation, Python program will be failed. You will not be able to get the output. Let's suppose I will remove and put a single space over here or a single space over here. I will execute it. You will get the indentation error. Unindented does not match any order indentation level. So whenever you are getting the indentation error in the Python program, it means there is some kind of indentation error in your program and you need to format that particular Python program. You need to format the indentation of that particular Python program, right? So today we have learned about all these things. What is the outline? Outline is we have learned about the single line comment. Then we have learned about the multi-line comment. Then we learn about the basic syntax. And in the basic syntax, we learn about the case sensitivity and we learn about the indentation in the Python program. In the upcoming lecture, we will learn about the semantics. We will learn about the common syntax error and a sample code base. Right. So that's all for the day. Thank you, team. See you next time.